Alright, what's good? What's good? Hello, everyone. Give me a minute while I get everything. Apparently, I have to get it set up again. I shouldn't have to do that. But it looks like that's what I'm gonna have to do. So just give me one moment. Where was it? Oh, right. That's what happened. Okay. Yeah, give me one moment, y'all. What's good? We back with another episode of Lightning Round. There you go. There's the man. There's myself. Alright. So we back. We have a couple things to discuss. Of course, as y'all know, I'd rather just do this for today and get it out the way because I know this for a fact. I'm going to be out in a bit. I'm going to be going to the Kendrick Lamar concert. We'll be trying to have a good time and chill out. So I hope y'all don't mind that. I'm gonna do the games and stuff tomorrow where I don't have to worry about it. So I figure, okay, why not? Let's just get this done, get this out the way, and then after that, we'll worry about the other stuff as it comes along, like with the gaming and everything. So if that seems like a plan for y'all, that's perfect. We'll just do that instead. Um, give me a minute. It's not the only thing I need to pull up, by the way. I need to pull up the okay, the web browser. I don't even know if this will pull up. That's the thing that worries me. I don't think this will pull up. No, not from here. This won't pull up. This one will. Okay. Alright. So, sorry about the Amazon stuff, but yeah, we do have a little bit of stuff to cover. We have to talk about the NFL draft. We have to talk about the, United Football League and its decline with what's going on with that. Um, we have a few things in mind, at least for me, to cover. We have to talk about EA and what's going on with their little layoffs and shit. We need to talk about the gaming price with what's going on with the gaming world and everything's increasing. So we have a few things in mind, though. Definitely a few things in mind we're gonna have to cover and discuss. But for the time being, we'll just I'll cover as much as I can. Cause I'll be honest, I didn't prep that far ahead. Um, but I did prep enough, such as the draft and such as the UFL thing. I'm gonna go ahead and cover as well. So with that, we'll start. Um, let's start with the gaming stuff, okay? So, respawn. Respawn. Okay. Respawn. What are you doing? So, respawn, from what we can see, respawn, bold ideas, creative risk, and passionate storytelling have always defined who we are. That spirit carried us through incredible highs and sometimes difficult changes. We sharpened our focus. We've made the decision to step away from two early stage incubation projects and make some targeted team adjustments across Apex Legends and Star Wars Jedi. These decisions aren't easy, and we are deeply grateful to every teammate affected. The creativity and contributions have helped build Respawn to what it is today. We're offering meaningful support to those impacted, including those exploring new opportunities within EA. Looking ahead, our commitment to player first experiences remain unchanged. Innovations has always been at the core of Respawn's identity and has continued to drive how we build the future. And from evolving the live experiences to crafting new worlds and stories. All right, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna go ahead and stop while I'm ahead with this because this is just a lot of shit, a lot of bullshit. So I'm gonna tell you how I really feel with this. Okay, this is grade A bullshit coming from Respawn, and we absolutely know that this is what this is. For anyone that doesn't know, Respawn is well known. They're well within tendency to do this, where they're just gonna so far they're just gonna stick with one thing. They're just gonna stick with what works and just milk it and milk it and milk it and milk it and milk it to death. I really hate how this has been done. Um, yeah, I really hate how this has been done with Respawn now, where it's like, look, all they're doing is just milking the shit out of Apex Legends, and it's a shame because guess who suffers for this? If anyone was a fan of Titanfall, like I am, you are literally suffering. Like you are quite literally suffering because this is all they want to focus about. They don't care about the main product no more. They treat you know what? You know what? Let me put it like this when it goes to Titanfall, and there's a few people in here um that will definitely relate to what I'm saying here with Titanfall. It has now practically gotten the Raymond treatment. Okay, like that's literally what's happening to Titanfall in full time. Is it's practically gotten the Raymond treatment, where it's just they don't give a fuck about this game no more. They don't give a fuck about the series no more. They only give a fuck about the side series at this point. They could care less with what happens with Titanfall as a whole, and it's very much a shame that this is what we're leading to when it goes to a game series that we once loved. Hell, Respawn don't get taken off the ground if it's not for Titanfall. You know what I'm saying? Like without Titanfall, you don't get Apex. So why are you not treating your baby with the respect that it deserves? I don't know. Now, the reason why I'm saying like what does this have to do with Respawn, because it was actually said that they were going to plan on making another Titanfall game, but here's the catch. The catch would be that they would start making the game into an extraction shooter, which is completely against what made Titanfall loved in the first place. And it's a shame. It's very much a shame that this is what is resort to for the series. Now, I hope at this point, I truly hope at this point that you know something is done with that series. Like I actually hope it gets revamped something, because it's like, or just better yet, even better, I need Respawn to drop that game. I need them to just drop and cut off everything relating to Titanfall, since that's how they feel. Yes, I mean, if they want to say Apex Legends is its own thing now, go right the fuck ahead, because it's practically what you're doing in the first place by milking it to death. Just give Titanfall to someone that actually cares and love the game. You know what I mean? That's how I feel. Like that's quite literally how I feel. And it's just as much as I want to enjoy, as much as I want to enjoy Respawn games, I can't do it no more, because it's just you only care about one thing, and the one thing I care about, guess what? It's only a matter of time until Apex Legends runs dry, if it hasn't already, which I'm shocked it hasn't already. But yeah, for Respawn to sit up there and have a layoff like this, when it goes to something like Titanfall, man. I mean, I understand there was supposed to be another another Star Wars game, but I'm gonna be honest with you, I doubt people cared this much about said Star Wars game for real. I truly do. I mean, truly. So, yeah, it's really a shame with where this is leading to when it goes to a series like this, because I love the hell out of this. I love the hell out of Titanfall. I would spend my money. I would spend the expansions. I'd have no problem with it. I fucking loved it. But to see it go like this, it's like, oh well, it is what it is. Now, there's one other thing to talk about that just came up today. It just came up like in minutes before I started, an hour before I started. So we got Gears of War Reloaded. It is coming to PS5, PC, and Xbox Series X starting August 26th. Now, here's the good news and bad news that I feel with this, okay? Let me go ahead and move this over. Here's the good news and bad news I feel with this. So, the good news. I'm very happy that at the very least, PlayStation users can now experience Gears of War. In fact, this is kind of groundbreaking because this is another first party title that Xbox is taking, and now it's coming over to, it's coming to this. You know what I mean? Like, it went it went from Xbox for God knows how long. It went from that to now we're getting to this, to where it's like, okay, we're now officially on PlayStation. Honestly, that's a groundbreaking achievement in of itself. But here's the bad news that I also see it like this, okay? When the fuck is Gears of War 2 and Gears of War 3 gonna get out of Xbox 360 hell? You know how it is when I said, with Metal Gear Solid 4, how that game is constantly in PS3 hell, and how Tales of Xillia and Tales of Xillia 2 is also in PS3 hell. Gears of War 2 and 3 are no different. They are stuck in previous generation hell. 3 games that everyone loves, 3 games that everyone cares about, they can't seem to get out. Now, this is big. If this happens, I would love to see the Master Chief Collection be next, and that goes over to the PlayStation, and that goes over possibly to the Switch as well. I would love to see that. You know what I mean? And that would be phenomenal to see. But what would be just as much phenomenal for me to see is if Gears of War 2 and 3 actually becomes a part of the PS5, becomes a part of the, PC, you know what I mean? I would love that. Now this is also great 4K resolution, 120 FPS, cross progression, cross multiplayer, 0 loading screens during the campaign. That's actually impressive. But yet again, the sad thing is, and I have to say this, the sad thing is, where's Gears of War 2? Like, where is Gears of War 2? Where's Gears of War 2? Where's Gears of War 3? You know what I mean? And I'm sure they know this. I'm sure they know this. Yes, is this great news? Yes, this is great news. But it could be better. And I need people to understand this, that this could have been better. This could absolutely be better. Hell, you know what? Since we got the Master Chief Collection, that's what this better be. Okay? This better be the Gears of War collection. I would love to see that, please and thank you. I would love to see the Gears of War collection, because that's exactly what this needs to be. So, yeah, we'll see how this will go. Uh, I'm very interested to see how this will go. But yeah, I would love to see this. I would absolutely love to see this. I mean, this is great news. This is good news, but this could be more. Give me Gears of War 2 and 3, and now we're really cooking. But since we're still on the topic of gaming, since we're still, talking about all this, we need to talk about this with Xbox because this isn't the only news that we're getting with Xbox. You know what I mean? So Xbox has now decided, besides all this that's going on, this isn't gonna show, but I will go ahead and okay, this is showing up at $40, which is pretty good. That's actually not too bad. But yeah, you know what? This actually sums it up right here. Where the Xbox Series X and its first party games, new first party games, they're now basically they're now basically increasing in price. Like, I get it, this is supposed to be normal. I understand this is supposed to be normal. I personally see it like this. This is the cost of what happened with the voting. And I get it. I'm not supposed to bring up politics and shit like that. I completely understand it, but everything was good until this whole presidential voting happened. And you know what? I kind of see it like this. I feel like no matter who it is, it would have still went the same way because we're all still stuck in the same system when it goes to voting. But $80 games is really about to become the new norm in the gaming industry. And you want to know the one thing that makes this more scary? One game in particular that everybody loves. It's going to be coming soon. Okay? Now, it got delayed to next year. It got delayed till May of next year. But you can bet your ass when that shit comes out May of next year, it's going to cost $100. By that game, I mean Grand Theft Auto 6. And it's not even a first party game. It's going to be the first third party game of this generation to release at $100. And I'm going to be honest with you, if with the amount of time that Rockstar is now getting to make this game, it's gonna make its case as the first well-earned $100 game and might be the only well-earned $100 game because guess what? I can't see no other company topping this. And we haven't even so much as seen gameplay of it for real. All we've seen is trailers. But if you really want to know who's losing in this whole console situation, this whole PC thing, this whole gaming thing, I'm going to be honest, it's all of us. I'm getting tired of people sitting up there trying to start wars with consoles when really at the end of the day, this is about here's one war that's really going to hit you, and this is something that affects everyone, and that's your money, your wallets. I feel for parents that have to sit up there and try to get themselves an Xbox Series X right now. I feel for parents that have to do this. I feel for parents that have to spend $8 games right now because it's going to get more and more and more rough as this generation continues. Oh, God. It's going to get more and more rough as this generation continues. I'm telling you this now. So if you were able to get your Xbox Series X at $500 at the time of release, and the same can be said for your PlayStation 5, if you was able to get it, I'm telling you this right now, you better fucking praise that console. You better polish that shit up. Keep that shit clean. Keep that shit safe as much as you fucking can. Because it ain't going to get any cheaper until the console generation starts to die over. It's not going to get any cheaper. We had our chance because of the whole COVID situation, but now, Ooh, buddy, it's getting more and more and more rough and expensive trying to get these games. And I wish everyone the best of luck. That extra $10 increase is gonna matter so much more than people realize. Especially since now, or $100 increase if you're trying to get an Xbox Series X. Because look at this from here, the Xbox Series X digital went from $449 to $459. That's practically a $600 console. Same price as the Series X by itself. Even the Xbox Series S season increase goes from 299 to 379. That's just 512 gigabytes. Or right here for 1 terabyte, 349 to 430. Like, it's crazy. So yeah, again, I hope for any look, all I can say is this: if you're a console gamer, I hope now, because of a situation like this, I'm gonna be honest with you, if I was you, like really, if I was you right now, you better start investing in trying to get just start investing on trying to get a gaming PC at this point, because it's like at the very least you'll be able to get your games at a solid price. Like third party sites now, they about to get a lot of love. They are about to get a lot of love and a lot of attention, and honestly, it's well deserved. It's well deserved. Because when you sit up there and you fuck people over like this, ain't no way that people are not gonna retaliate in some form. Now, don't get me wrong; they're still gonna get their money, but look, at this point, bro, I won't be shocked if it just there's just a lot of people coming over to PC gaming because, like, look, some of this shit is unacceptable. In fact, this would be unacceptable if this was PC gaming. If the majority of the console players went over to PC, this is not happening under their watch. I can tell you that right now. Ain't no fucking way, because they're not gonna allow it. It's not that Steam isn't gonna allow it. Steam's not gonna care. As you can see, we have $70 games on Steam. What people are gonna do to speak with their wallet, they're just gonna get these games from a third party site and do a pay in four, and not only pay a lot less than what they usually would pay, but they're gonna be like, okay, here, look, I just got this, bang for my buck right here. I don't gotta worry about this shit ever again. This won't be a problem for me no more. Like, oh, okay, I got this game for like 60. Oh, I got this game for like 50. Oh, I got the deluxe edition for said price. Like, say, for an example, oh, take Dragon Ball, Sparking Zero. Okay, the game came out at 70. For me, I got the deluxe edition, whatever it is, the premium edition, whatever it was that was the top of the line shit for that game, I got it for that exact price. Because at the very least, I saw it as this: if I'm gonna get a game for $70, I better get some extra stuff coming with it, and that's exactly what I did, and I don't regret it. I definitely don't regret it because I paid and forward that shit off, so I didn't have to worry about it. Whatever it was that was spent with it, it's not a problem with me no more. You know what I mean? So I expect, if people are smart enough, which I know they are. If people are smart enough, they're going to do this. They're going to do this. So I won't be shocked at some point that because of this, what's going on with I'm gonna just say this right here. Okay, yeah, I just had to say that shit. But yeah, I had to tell him like, yeah, bro, like we're getting there. This is good news with Gears of War, but yeah, like we're getting to the point where it's like, look, everybody about to start going over to PC gaming at this point. It's not gonna be long until like give it a couple years where people are eventually just gonna start getting tired of it, and they're gonna be like, nah, homie, I'm just done. I'm just done. I can't do it no more. So we'll see how this is gonna go. But yeah, with Xbox, with them increasing prices, and then you got Respawn cutting people, it's getting a bit much. Okay, it truly is getting a bit much. For more gaming news, if I can, honestly, I'm just doing this as I go. But yeah, you know what? Yeah, let's talk about it. In more gaming news, we got Punishing Gray Raven, bro. Now, I don't know when this is gonna happen, but we got some crazy shit that is going on here, and we already see it from the artwork. We got Dante and Virgil here. Let's take a look at this little trailer that they have. Yup. We got Devil May Cry collabing with Punishing Gray Raven. I tell you what, if you're a gacha fan that plays if you're a gacha fan that plays these types of games, if you play the games such as, of course, Punishing Gray Raven itself, if you play Honkai Impact, you would know that these games take a lot of heavy inspiration from Devil May Cry. Okay? A lot of it. Now, I'm going to see if I can look this up real quick. It shouldn't take that long. But they took a lot of mannerisms from this game, and you could just see it. It's like, look. You can see it off here. You would think that this is just another Devil May Cry game of how they did this. Punishing Gray Raven team did a phenomenal job. Kuro Games did a phenomenal job of how they did this. I believe that's what they are, Kuro Games. They did Kuro Games did a phenomenal job. They took great care. They took great detail and great care for Dante and Virgil both. So much so that, of course, both their English actors are in this game. Whoops, sorry about that. Even the poses you can see right here is fucking nuts. I was looking up gameplay of it like earlier, but obviously I don't have it saved, but you can see it. My goodness, man.
说到攻击，是积蓄了另外一种积蓄值，就是真魔人值。对，那同时呢，在变身成这个真魔人状态的情况下，它的攻击模组也会发生对应的变化。对，在攒满了必杀能量以后，可以使用旱地狂焰、以及最终审判。
还有2个技能。
对敌人造成这个致命一击。加入到了战斗中，因为非常经典嘛。
对，太经典了，这个东西
确实很经典。 然后我们的结算也是比较经典的，就是致敬我们但。
But yeah, man, it's like they took great care of Dante and Virgil. Like they're going all out with this. So Dante, when you get into the game, when the collab releases, he will be free. But of course, if you still want to go for more of Dante, like say, you know how it is with certain gacha games where they'll just drop it at S rank. If you want to go further with that, you're gonna have to spend a bit of money. Virgil, you're gonna have to spend money. Period. He's a full on gacha pull that you have to get lucky for. Now, do you think I'm gonna go for this? You're damn right I'm gonna try to go for this. I'm gonna be honest with you. I hope it comes out later, like way later. Like I think China got it now, if I'm right. If I'm correct. If they got it now, then they got it now. But I need to be able to, get some time so I could try to pull Virgil. Now, I know this for a fact. Of course, we got this girl here. They always call her Virgil's daughters, and like one of Virgil's daughters. Alpha is definitely one of Virgil's daughters. When you've seen her gameplay, you see how she operates. She's just as fast as Virgil is. So to be able to see all this, it's it's fucking insane to be able to see all this.
I guess he's also here. Well, talk to you later. I have something I need to do. Virgil?
See? The fact they have the voice acting and everything is fucking nuts.
Let's rock. Yes.
Dude is out here just chilling.
Come on. Show me what you really got.
I knew you were here. Dante!
Virgil doing a laugh is like
In
that.
the
It's so
pursuit of
fucking crazy
power,
for me.
I once forsook my humanity, yet found myself still unable to defeat him. Here's some counsel for you. Remember the inner fire that propels you towards strength. And always keep in mind the purpose for which you fight. Thou dost smile. I sing thee while sweet joy befall thee.
I never hear him read his book before, so this is actually
Nothing
crazy.
like just reading.
But yeah, to get this collab is fucking nuts to me. You know what I mean? So you already know every gacha gamer is probably gonna be on point trying to get Virgil and just have the best time of their life. Now, if you haven't already, which you should, go and play Devil May Cry 5, please, because you deserve it to yourself. It's a crazy good game. In fact, you can see right here the influence that they're taking from Devil May Cry 5, not just off the gameplay, but also from a fucking Sun He Legends, famous motivation combo from Virgil, almost recreated. They really wanted to do this.
You shall die.
They literally have been taking this so seriously with this collab, and I'm all for it. I understand, because it's not every day you get one of your inspirations coming to your game. I don't know what they did to make Capcom come by and agree, but fans are fucking loving it. They're like, fuck all this. Like, we gonna do this. We gonna knock it out the park. We are all for it, and honestly, I'm all for it with them too. So, yeah, have at it, man. Like, they deserve it. They deserve this to themselves. Punishing Gray Ravens definitely about to get some more eyes on the product that they rightfully deserve, the way how I see. I know I don't play it as much, but a game that fun, you deserve that kind of attention. All right. So besides this, I don't think there's much. Yeah, I don't think there's really. Well, besides the fact of Take-Two trying to spy on Borderlands players, which honestly I don't care about. It is what it is with that. But yeah. Besides that, there isn't really a whole lot I can to talk about when it goes to gaming. Now, with that being said, there is one thing we need to discuss, and that's sports, of course. You really didn't think I was gonna do this. I hope that what I'm looking up here, I hope it's fine. Please don't tell me this is fucking not safe for work. Okay, thank God. Okay, okay. The UFL, what they call it, I remember, yes, is the United Football League, correct? The UFL, United Football League. And right, the United Football League. Here's the issue that we have here, the United Football League. Of course, you're convinced people who work for Houston Roughnecks don't want the team to survive. I can see why, because look at this shit. I've seen soccer games that cities don't care about. I've seen soccer games fill up more than this. I've seen fucking... like, I went to the Penn Relays and it did more than this. You know what I mean? Like, what is this? Honest to God, what is this? You want to know what I really see here? I'm going to tell you what I see here. It's not only a lack of marketing, but I have to say this in all honesty, it's also the UFL's fault, because let's take a look at how many teams are in the United Football League right now. Okay? We have the Arlington Renegades, the Brigham Stallions, the DC Defenders, the Houston Roughnecks, the Memphis Showboats, the Michigan Panthers, the San Antonio Brahmas, and the St. Louis Battlehawks. We have those teams. Okay, so out of all those teams, right, which ones do you obviously think is going to do the most in attendance? The St. Louis Battlehawks. For obvious fucking reasons for why they're leading in attendance. Because they lost the St. Louis Rams. That was once their team. They went over to LA. St. Louis have felt scorned and pissed off about it ever since they left them. And it doesn't make them feel any better because they won a Super Bowl a year after they left. So for them to see that is not helping their case. So yeah, with this it's that's a hurt piece for them to see that. But ever since when the XFL came out in 2020 and they had the Battlehawks from there, they've just been filling up attendance after attendance after attendance after attendance after attendance. It's like, what should have been the main motto when it goes to these minor league teams? The main motto should have been, for these teams, we need to go after teams, to go after cities that need football teams, that want pro football teams again. Such as you should have went after San Diego. San Diego, you don't think they still don't feel that way when it went to the Chargers? San Diego right now should have a UFL team. Okay, Oakland just lost the Raiders. and now we're calling them Las Vegas Raiders, but you still don't think for a second they wouldn't care to have a UFL team? They would have absolutely cared. If they would have wanted some money coming in to the league and wanted asses in seats, give these cities their teams. They've already did this with St. Louis. They need to do this for the other two, and they would have had more. There. So that means you're cutting out at least a good chunk of the league right there. I'm going to tell you the teams that should leave if this was me. The two teams that need to leave. Okay, real quick. The Arlington Renegades need to leave. Now, I understand they're doing okay right now, but the Arlington Renegades need to leave. I'm going to tell you why. They need to leave because they already have the Dallas Cowboys, which they play in Arlington. Crazy, right? They play in Arlington, Texas. They don't play in Dallas. So to be fair, they already have a team in that city that resides over it, and they play there. So why do you still have the Renegades there? The Houston Roughnecks obviously need to leave. If what we're seeing in that picture was any indication, they need to leave. They need to go. And it should be like the Oakland Roughnecks or some shit like that. It needs to be them, and it needs to be a San Diego named team. Because I specifically remember when the San Diego Fleet was in the AAF, fans were filling up that shit. And then the next thing you know, the AAF fucked up. But fans were filling up that stadium. They wanted a team. So San Diego, Oakland needs to be one. But if you want to also know another one that truly fucks up this league right now, is the fact that, one, you did a merger of the Houston Roughnecks where it should have been called the Houston Gamblers. Okay? You take the Houston Gamblers history and the Roughnecks history and you try to merge it together. That's not going to work. But another big issue that comes with this is the simple fact that you got rid of teams that would have you got rid of cities that had teams in here that would have supported it. They would have absolutely supported this league. Like, let's take a look at the USFL teams that they got rid of, okay? Let's take a quick look. They got rid, of course, of the Houston Gamblers because they merged. They got rid of them. They got rid of the New Jersey Generals. They got rid of the New Orleans Breakers. They got rid of Philadelphia Stars. And they got rid of Pittsburgh Maulers. I'm going to tell you this right now, real quick. The Pittsburgh Maulers, the Philadelphia Stars, the New Orleans Breakers, and the... You know what? Let me stop there. I don't know if New Jersey Generals would have been supported because we've seen what happens when you have, like, New Jersey, they'll have to play in the giant stadiums. We've seen what happens when you have teams played at the giant stadiums, such as, behold, the New York Guardians. We saw what happened there. But I'm going to tell you this. The New Orleans Breakers, the Philadelphia Stars, and the Pittsburgh Maulers would have absolutely supported their teams. You can't tell me they wouldn't have. New Orleans Breakers was doing damn good for, they would have done damn good in attendance for that New Orleans stadium and that New Orleans, Superdome. They would have absolutely done great. Philadelphia Stars, you already know. Philadelphia fans show out for all their teams. They love their teams. They show out for their soccer team, for fuck's sakes, and they're all the way up in Chester. And they still show out for those motherfuckers. They would have been there for them. So don't tell me they wouldn't have. Pittsburgh would have been the same way. Especially if their Pittsburgh team, and especially if their team is good, they would have absolutely shown up for them. 3 teams right there would have shown up on the USFL side. I don't know what the Memphis Showboats are doing. I don't know how they're doing, but the only reason why they're staying is because they're new. That's the only reason why they're staying. Because they just brought them in and they were brand new. The Michigan Panthers, the only reason why they brought them in, I'm going to tell you why they kept those certain teams, okay? The only reason why they kept the Stallions is because they won the USFL championship. If they didn't win, and if it was the Philadelphia Stars that won, it would have been the Stars that would have been a part of it and not the Brigham Young Stallions. Because I can tell you this right now, the Stallions don't fucking deserve that shit. You look at their attendance is horrible compared to what a Philadelphia stadium would have looked like had the Stars would have been able to stay there. So it kind of hurts the Stars entirely off the simple fact that they didn't win that USFL championship. Because I guarantee you this now, if it was the Stallions, it's a whole different story. Of course, the Gamblers we already know because you already had 2 Houston teams already. So Houston was going to be a shoo-in no matter what. They were safe no matter what. Whether it was the Gamblers or whether it was the Roughnecks, it didn't matter. Memphis was new. And I think Michigan Panthers, did Michigan win? Let me look this up. Did Michigan Panthers win their USFL championship? Because if so, then that's understandable. If they didn't, then I don't know why they're still here. No, they lost, actually. So, yeah, they lost. So then, at that point, I don't know why they're still there. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and keep it completely 100 with you. I don't know why, because they lost their championship as well. Okay, there's that, merger, and of course they kept them there. I guess because they had to have gotten some agreement with Detroit, like the city, to be able to go ahead and be able to play at Ford Field. But yeah, bro, as far as I'm concerned, man, that's all I could think of. Cause really, last time I won a championship was '83. Jesus Christ. But yeah, other than that, I really don't know why. I really don't know why the Michigan Panthers are just, they're still here. But the Pittsburgh Maulers are to be here. The Philadelphia Stars are to be here. Now, they said with the UFL that over time they will start to expand and they will bring back these teams. I hope fucking so, because ain't no way you're going to sit here and tell me that if you mention football within the same breath, pro football in the same breath in Philadelphia, ain't no way it's not going to get supported. By the way, here's some for Seattle. I mean, here's some for Seattle. Here's some of the XFL teams that got disbanded because of what happened, such as the Seattle Sea Dragons. Seattle Sea Dragons, besides the St. Louis Battlehawks, I was shocked that they're not coming back because they was filling up attendance just as much as the Seattle Battlehawks were. They was actually doing good at the Seahawks Stadium. They're the only team besides St. Louis that was really out here putting in work. And it shocks me that they didn't get that. It shocks me. Now, the Los Angeles Wildcats, I don't think they were doing all that good. So I understand Los Angeles. On top of that, Los Angeles doesn't deserve one anyway because they got they got 2 NFL teams there already. They have the Chargers and they have the Rams. What the hell do they need what the hell do they need a minor league team for? They don't need one. So I understand scrapping them. I get scrapping Orlando because Orlando Guardians didn't do good. They didn't do good either way. Vegas didn't do good. Vegas don't even need one. They got the Raiders now. The fuck they need a minor league team for? Again, this goes back to my point, which is a big problem with these minor league teams. Why would you go to Los Angeles knowing they already have football teams there? Why would you go to Vegas knowing they already have football teams there? Like, you're trying to siphon off the NFL teams. It's not going to work. Now, I understand as I say this that I'm being a bit of a hypocrite because I also said Philadelphia Stars should be playing right now. I get that. But if you also know that history, football in Philadelphia is treasured here. Shit, they was watching Souls games. Philadelphia Souls. They were watching their games. So, at the very least, Philadelphia has a track record of showing up for their teams, no matter the sport. Specifically football, they show up for them because they love it so much. You know what I mean? So, yeah, as far as I'm concerned, UFL dropping in attendance does not shock me. Because it's not just the fact that it's a marketing issue, it's the fact that the biggest issue you have is that you're putting seats onto teams. You're putting teams into cities that don't want their teams. And that's what they need to do. That's what they have not done. USFL had this problem. XFL has this problem. And now the UFL continue to have this problem where it's not going to get solved right now. And it won't. It won't until it's too late. It won't until it's too late. Well, all I can say is this. For the UFL, I hope for your sake you're able to survive the next 3 to 5 years. Because I would love nothing more to be able to go to a Philadelphia Stars game and to be able to, enjoy it. I would love to go and see some minor league football, but so far, and you know what, I'm going to say this too, this is no different than the WNBA. You wonder why viewership isn't as high as it should be for these leagues? Again, not just because of the fact that you're not giving teams to cities that would actually support them, but because of the fact that you've taken far too long to give this to them, and that's why the viewership continues to go down. Right now, WNBA should have a Philadelphia team, and the fact that it doesn't is fucking criminal. We should have a UFL team, but the fact that we don't is fucking criminal. The fact that San Diego doesn't have a UFL team is criminal. The fact that Seattle lost their team and they were one of the highest in attendance right next to St. Louis is fucking criminal. The fact that these teams don't have it. This league would make a ton of money, but they're not going to do it. They're not going to make that money. Not until it's too late. Not until it's too late. But I hope for the UFL, like I said, I hope you survive the next couple years. Because if this is what you're getting, it's kind of what you deserve. Your lack of marketing and the lack, of course, of awareness to see is like, look, these cities don't care about these teams. They don't give a fuck. Like, San Diego, I'm going to tell you this right now. San Diego. San Diego would care. Okay? San Diego would care. Oakland would care. San Antonio, the team you did get correct on, I think right now they're caring. Okay? I have to look up and see. But because of the fact that they barely get a stable team. I remember when they had it in the AAF and they were showing out. But let me see this here. Yup, San Antonio cares. Like I expected them to. A lot of this I expect. St. Louis, yeah, they're carrying the fucking league. They get 30,000 on average. They are here for this shit. They lost their team. They know what it's like. San Antonio's been starving for football in their area. So, of course, they're going to show out. DC is probably one of the few that actually shocks me that they're third in. But then again, hey, look, DC, they see it like this. we saw enough of the Ed Snyder bullshit. I just want to see some good football again. And now they just might get it. And that's what's going to worry me. I'm going to continue to look with DC. But we have seen this plenty of times with DC where it's like, look, if their team's not showing up, if their team's not doing good, they're going to start going over to where they think matters most with their team. They're going to see which teams actually gives a fuck. And if it happens to be the UFL, there you go. They got it. Michigan, so far so good with Michigan, but I understand why. It's because of history. They're looking at this shit based on what these NFL teams have done for them lately. They know the Lions have been doing well lately. But how long is it going to last until the Lions end up being shitty again? Then they're going to have to go back to the UFL. Birmingham right here is the shocker for me. For a team that, we've always wondered, what would Alabama look like with a pro football team? You technically got it, and they're not doing nothing. They're in the middle of the pack. They're barely hanging on. And don't take it back. They're like bottom 3 in attendance, which is not good at all. At all. It's not good. I'm sorry. It's unacceptable. Houston, I'm not shocked. We already saw it. Memphis, I'm shocked considering they just got there. They just got their team. But yeah, I'm going to tell you this right now. If I had to choose, again, just off of fucking attendance alone, I'm going to be real with you. These 4 are gone. Arlington, Birmingham, Houston, Memphis are gone. Goodbye. I don't want to see you. Bring back Seattle. I mean this. Bring back Seattle. Bring back Philly. Seattle would take Arlington. Philly would take the, Birmingham spot. Bring them back. Put in San Diego and put in Oakland and watch what happens. And you can't tell me it wouldn't work because it absolutely would work. You have one, in terms of east side, east and west. St. Louis was more west, so you got that. Because NFC West, you have that. So you have St. Louis, which is west, San Antonio, which is down south, but it leans more west, I believe. DC is obviously east. Michigan is obviously east. Philadelphia is east. San Diego is obviously west. What did I say would take over here? Oakland is west. And Seattle? I have to look it up, but I think Seattle is more east than it is west, if I'm right. I have to look at it geographically. Yeah, let me go ahead and take a look at this United States map. Give me a minute. Get out the way. Get out the way. Get out the way. Get out the way. Alright. Okay, never mind. Seattle's more west. So, okay, I got it right here. My bad. I got it right here, y'all. Okay. Seattle. Okay, Houston is definitely a lot south. It's right down the middle. So you can go and call that for what it is. Okay, so St. Louis, St. Louis, St. Louis, St. Louis, St. Louis, St. Louis. St. Louis is more east, so I guess St. Louis would go to the east side. Okay. Okay, let me go and count it up. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4 would be Philly right there. So there you go. That's your 4, and then of course you have your other 4 with the whole, the other ones. So, but yeah, pretty much it's yeah. There's your teams. There's your teams. And it's a damn shame, bro. It's It's a damn shame. Of course, DC is also Maryland, so there you go. But yeah, pretty much, man. All I gotta say is this: UFL do better. That's it. That's all I can say. I've talked about it for like over 30, 40 minutes. I'm done talking about it now. But we got one more thing to touch on. Of course, as I said, is the draft. What was it with the draft that got me the most attention? What was it that that was worth having to talk about with this draft? So let's get to it, shall we? So let's get to the rounds. You know what I mean? Of course, we got Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter. A lot of these were obvious. Well, the one thing that was a shocker was Travis Hunter getting picked by the Jacks due to trade. But hey, they wanted him bad enough, so they got him. Will Campbell, Mason Graham, that was a great pick for them. Ashton Genty going over to Vegas. Armand Membo going over to the Jets. Pretty obvious they were going to go lineman. Hold up, I got to sneeze. There you go. How to get that out. Kelvin Banks. If there was a team I was expecting to go quarterback early, it was going to be the Saints, but I guess not. Sorry about that. I had to sneeze again. Colston Loveland being the first tight end off the board still for me was a shocker because I was expecting it to be Tyler Warren, but I said, fuck it. If they like their guy, they like their guy. They felt like he fit. He fit. Mikael Williams, personally, I don't know much about him, but I was shocked to see that he's a top 15 selection when there were other edges there. But like Shamar Stewart, but hey, if they felt like he's the better fit, it is what it is. I get it. You don't reach for a need. You reach for best player available, and they felt like he was best player available plus the need all in one. Tyler Booker, it was filling both for the Cowboys, so I'm not shocked. They need all the line help they can get, but I was expecting them to go wide receiver with this pick. But I guess they couldn't because T-Mac went over to the Panthers. So for them, they said, fuck it, let's just take what we can take. Kenneth Grant going over to the Dolphins. Build upon the trenches. Not mad at them for that. Tyler Warren, they needed a weapon, and damn did they get one with Tyler Warren. They needed a weapon bad. Jalen Walker goes over to the Falcons. That won't be the last time we'll hear of them. Walter Nolan goes over to the Cardinals. Shamar Stewart goes over to the Bengals. Gray Zabel goes to the Seahawks, which was pretty obvious. It was such a Seahawks-ass pick that they needed. Emeka Ibuka goes over to the Bucks. I'm not shocked considering they're going to get ready for Mike Evans. But the only thing that shocked me was I kind of expect him to get someplace else. But I don't know. But it makes sense. You get ready for Mike Evans to leave, so I understand. Jahad Barron goes over to the Broncos. Derek Harmon goes over to the Steelers. Marlon Hampton goes over to the Chargers. They needed a guy like that. Matthew Golden goes over to the Packers. Well, they're doing something that they couldn't do for Aaron Rodgers. Let's get that man some help. They're doing that for Jordan Love. Donovan Jackson goes over to the Vikings. Makes sense. You just got a quarterback last year. You want to protect him. Jackson Dart goes over to the Giants via trade, which was pretty crazy. But they said, fuck it. I'll just take Jackson Dart in the trade. No Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders, you don't see him until round 5 when he gets picked up by the Browns. So I can go and tell you that right now. I'm only going to cover the first round. I'm not going to cover it all. James Pierce Jr. goes over to the Falcons. I'll be honest. I was so happy they did that. That's over there. Yawn. I was so happy they did that because there was so much talk with James Pierce Jr. going over to the Eagles. I said, please don't fucking get him because they had a lot of character concerns going on with him. So I was happy they just took him. Malachi Starks was the one pick I was actually hoping the Eagles would make a trade up for to grab, but they said fuck it. Nah, we don't. They didn't really want. Ravens said fuck it. We'll just take him and get it over with. Tyleik Williams goes over to the Lions. I guess they need a line help, and it makes sense considering you saw what happened. Sorry about that. You saw what happened when their line was decimated. Josh Conley Jr., they absolutely needed to make that pick because they got destroyed by the Eagles' defensive line. and they're not the only team that went offensive line. Maxton Harrison goes over to the Bills. I was expecting them to get a weapon, but whatever. Jahad Campbell goes over to the Eagles. You already know a lot of talk with that, and the rich get richer. He's the first linebacker taken in the Howie Roseman era. The first linebacker the Eagles have taken, period, since the 80s, either mid 80s or early 70s. Oh, sorry, late 70s. So the fact that he's the first linebacker taken in that long, that means you have to be special. Now, it's also said that the Eagles have tried to trade up multiple times to try to get Jahad Campbell. So the fact that we was able to get him now, and we still save our picks, is very fucking good. Josh Simmons goes over to Kansas City. Those two picks with Washington and Kansas City should have been the most obvious picks in this draft. After what the Eagles did to them, they had no choice but to go lineman. You have to do it. If you're trying to beat the Philadelphia Eagles, you need to build it on the trenches. And if you don't do it, your ass is in trouble. So that rounds out the first round. I'm not going to do the second and third round. You could do those yourself if you want to study up on, the draft picks. But the way that I see it is this had to be done with a lot of teams. To address linemen, whether it was offense or defense, you had to do it. The only teams that didn't address linemen early rounds, they didn't have to do it. They just had to address what was skill positions and what was important. Like, the Eagles at the end of the day, they had to really address it. But for certain teams, it filled out both of need and value. Both best player available and, need at the same time. So the fact that you were able to do this, you had to do this. You know what I mean? This was something that had to be done. And I completely get it. I completely understand it. So, for that, handle your business. Okay, let me go ahead. Okay, my bad. Okay, sorry about that. I had to put that out as a Twitter post. I'm sorry, as a Discord post. But yeah, you know what I mean. It's needed. A lot of that stuff had to be done. It was very needed, and those teams they did what they had to do. So I'm happy for them to make that move and go ahead and do this. All right. With that being said, I guess that's it. That's all I have to talk about for today. But till then, I hope you guys have yourself a good rest of the day, night, evening, wherever you're at in the world. And I will see you for tomorrow. Tomorrow, I will give y'all the schedule throughout this week. Tomorrow I will be playing Drakengard 3, a PS3, crazy PS3 exclusive game. I will be playing that at, what is it? What did I say, 5 p.m., 8 p.m.? I think 8 p.m., right? 5 p.m. That's fine by me. 5:30 p.m. is when I'm gonna play Drakengard 3. Of course, same thing. Assassin's Creed Black Flag. I'm gonna play that shit on Wednesday. We're gonna do anime movie night on Thursday, and Judgment on Friday. Till then, that's everything throughout the rest of the week. Till then, guys, that's it for me. I'm done for the night. Y'all have yourself a good rest of the day, night, evening, and I will see you. Yeah, I'll see you next time. I will see you tomorrow for some Drakengard 3. Bye. Y'all take care.